Design Studio.
Welcome back, my bells. It's your girl Lala, aka Chelle, aka Michelle, my belle, and I am back with the beautiful Miss Eva. How are you, Miss Eva?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for having me again. Hey, Belle. How you guys doing today?
The bell said, "Hey, girl, hey." If you have not already seen part one, go ahead and check it out. I'll put the link in the description bar below. If you've already seen it, you clearly were entertained. So welcome back. We're gonna have just as much fun in this part, aka part two, that part. Again, I'm gonna thank the lovely Miss Eva because she too had to donate her time to answer my questions, no matter how ridiculous they may or may not be. And I know that y'all are ready to hear what she has to say about the things I've asked, so I'm not going to hold y'all. Let's get started. Okay. And I mean, like I said, we all been there. This is a no judgment zone. Cuz I feel you, especially if you like you said, if you done a whole bunch for this person and then they just go out and just decide to smear your name. Usually to me, I look at it this way. You thought enough of that person one time to date him. So if you got all these bad things to say, but you stuck around, now let's talk about what's wrong with you then. You know what I mean? Because if I have somebody, when I'm in situations like family, friends, whatever, where I actually sit down and, because we're human, I'm not saying that you're going to go through stuff and never talk bad about your ex. I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying that I do it. But as far as going to certain extents, I'm just not. So when I sit down and I'm prepared to have that conversation about, I feel like my ex did this to me, I feel like my ex did that to me, I also am prepared to have that conversation as to what did you do and why did you stay? Because you can't constantly say for years, this person is terrible, this person did this person did that, and then you stay. Because either A, you like it, B, your self esteem is low, or C, there was something you saw in this person to make you continuously make excuses for somebody who, looking back, you now think is completely horrible. So when I do have those conversations where I am no kidding having to say bad stuff about my ex, I also reflect on myself. You know what I mean? I'm like, look, I was at a low place in life and I thought I couldn't get any better. That's why I stuck around for, you know what I mean? Because if you just tell me this person is terrible, it's like, yeah, but you was with them for 5 years, so they couldn't have been that bad. You know what I mean? That make me kind of question what you said. So I definitely get it 100%. Now on the flip side, what do you think about the new woman coming to you, like coming to you as the ex, like, hey, I'm getting ready to date your ex, what can you tell me about them, or is there something you want to warn me about? What do you think about that? Like, how do you process that?
Okay. So, as far as that, it's a new, and I have thought about this like a few times. Like, sometimes when you're like thinking like, your mind is just spacing and you're like, what if this happens to me? So I'm completely prepared for this answer, right? So I a while ago, I would be like, I would tell her everything. But you know what? There's something called personal growth. And as we grow, you learn to see that, you know what, maybe I wasn't for that person, and maybe that person wasn't for me, or maybe I had to go through these experiences to get to the point where, I'm ready for this relationship or he's ready for that relationship. So in any event that my ex current girlfriend comes to me and my opinion of him, I'm simply going to say that I don't have an opinion of him. My experiences with him may not be your experiences with him. So that wouldn't be fair for me to tell you what I went through with him, because you may not go through that. That may have been 10 years ago, and you're dating him now. He may have learned from that. You know what I'm saying? So I would definitely step back and be like, I can't help you in that situation because it's just something that you would have to experience yourself.
I like that. Like you took the words right out of my mouth because I've had that experience where people come and they're like, "Hey, I'm about to date your ex. I just wanted to know, like, is there anything I should be worried about?" And at first, I was like, "Huh?" You know what I mean? Like, what? For me, when I think about somebody's ex, I'm like, oh, whatever opinion you have of that person is diluted. It's diluted with your personal beliefs. It's diluted with whether or not you had a good or bad experience. Like all of it, it's diluted with if you got an agenda. Like if you still want them, you may badmouth them to me in hopes that it makes me walk away. Because when it's new and you feel like you're getting a red flag in the beginning, you usually like, oh, I'm out. So I don't. It depends on I had to give that same answer. I was like, people grow, people learn, people develop, and sometimes losing somebody is the change that someone needs to be a better them, so to speak, or at least a better them in a relationship capacity or whatever. So I try not to. I'd be like, hey, your experience, like you said, your experience is gonna be whatever you make it with them. My experience was my experience. It could be due to my personality. It could be due to our situation because sometimes people are in relationships with people while they're falling on hard times in life, and it can change you. Going through things in life, especially when your livelihood is threatened, it can change you as a person. So if somebody comes along and meets you after you build yourself up, you might be a whole new you. You know what I mean? So I try not to. I'm like, hey, overall, we all have our flaws. I say stuff like, just if you feel something in your gut, I say believe it. God gave us intuition for a reason, so work with that. I try to keep it simple, just like you. Like, listen, I I can't influence how this is gonna go for y'all. You gotta figure it out the hard way, just like the rest of it. But that leads me into the last portion of this conversation slash interview. Can I ask you something else? Just one more thing.
Yes, ma'am, you got me all day.
Oh, don't open that box. Don't open Pandora's box. No. So in Second Life, I think it's on like Facebook or something. I can't remember what social media it is, but it's stemming from Second Life. They have like a blast group where people fall out. Usually people in a relationship, so that's why I'm bringing this up. People fall out and then they blast their RL stuff. You know what I mean? That's why I asked the question initially, like how far is too far. So they get on this site, and if the person sent them like nudes, or they, basically let them in on a first life, because some people refer to it as first life, on a first life basis. They let them in. They then go into this group site, whatever it is. I call it the bitter people's group. But then they go in and they blast the person. They put, again, personal pictures out there, just personal elements of their first life. What do you think about that group being established, period? And B, what do you think about the people in that group exposing people? If that makes sense.
Okay, so yeah, I've seen that whole blast group situation, and to be honest, that really hurts my feelings because it's like at one point in time, you and that person you felt so intimate, had that connection with that person to share these personal information with them, and whether you're going through something in life or whatever, and you feel comfortable to share that with your partner, and then for what reason they're so angry or upset that they want to blast you about it. I think that is never acceptable. Even in my pettiest days, I've never went asking somebody's personal information, putting the EBT card on the internet. You know what I'm saying? I just think that's a complete invasion of privacy. And I honestly think that is like at a point of no return. You cannot come back. You can never recover from that because I've already shared my personal information with you. And then because you're angry because we didn't work out, you want to blast me? I think under no circumstances should that ever be appropriate.
Okay. I agree wholeheartedly. And before I give my piece on that, last question. Would you ever date somebody? Like, say they haven't done anything to you, but would you ever date somebody that's a part of that site? Whether they're just somebody who watches or if they're somebody who posts.
Well, if there's somebody who watches, I wouldn't really hold that accountable because everybody has their little nosiness in them, you know, like they're curious or whatever. But if there was somebody who, you know, definitely posted on it and, you know, if you did it to them, you do it to me, honey. Like, I'm not special. I don't have no diamond encrusted vagina that's gonna stop you from doing the same thing that you did to that person. I could never trust a person like that. So, absolutely not. If I found out that there was a person who did something like that, I would never be able to trust that person ever.
Okay. I agree. And I look at this site like this. That makes you look real insecure, immature, and bitter. Because you took time out of your day. You're taking time out of your first life day to intentionally try to embarrass, hurt, whatever. Are you that much better than that person? Because as trash as you think they may be, you took time out of your day to try to blast them. And I just think you have too much time on your hands. And I say you must be going through something because hurt people hurt people. People who are doing good in life, enjoying themselves, not going back and forth with these ninjas, they don't do stuff like that. I just personally feel like they don't. And then for the second part of the question, would I date? I'm not dating an onlooker or a poster because, like you said, if you willing to do that to them, I know I'm not exempt. Well, I don't have a diamond encrusted vagina, mouth, hand, pocketbook, avatar, nothing. Nothing will make you exempt because you're showing me that when you get bitter, you're going to go out of your way to hit below the belt because you don't know how to deal with your pain any other way. And the reason I say I wouldn't date an onlooker because the truth is, when it comes to stuff like that, people will pretend to be bystanders all day, but low key, it'll be their site. You know what I mean? They'll be the creator of it. So it's like I don't trust nobody unless you could show me cold hard evidence that I absolutely do not post or submit information because people do that too, and I don't submit information. Like, I can't because my trust in you is gone. What type of person? At one point, you and this person trusted in each other with whatever secrets you had. So to me, that proves to me again, you can't be trusted because as soon as you feel some type of way, you gonna put my business out there, and I can't sleep with, date, kick it with, talk to, be an acquaintance of somebody that I don't trust. So it's a no for me all the way around because if you watching, I can't trust that you're not also submitting information or posting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that is a very valid point. Um, that you know the people who may be watching, but I mean, I don't think that it would be a no for me if you know like somebody posts the link and you just look at it just to be curious. But I get what you're saying as far as you know they may be feeding the other person the information or whatever. But, you know, I mean, I know for myself that I've looked at the site, you know, a couple of times if I've seen the link on Facebook or whatever, just to see what's going on or what they're saying or whatever. But I've never, like, posted anything or submitted any information. So
See, that sucks because that makes you kind of like a casualty because it's just like I don't because of that I'm not gonna trust nobody. Like, I trust you, so it's like, okay, if you tell me now, but had you told me this like when we very first met, I was like, oh no, you won't be giving them my information. You know what I mean? Because you really can't tell. There's no way a person looks. There's no one way a person talks. So it's like, oh no, you would never do that. You know what I mean? So it's like from the jump, if I found out, I'm gonna be turned off because it's just like people go from watching to participating real quick. And I feel like maybe if you're somebody who occasionally glances, okay, cool. I'm not gonna do it, but I'm not gonna judge anybody else because clowns won't perform without an audience. For everybody that watches, you're the one that make it possible for these people to keep doing this. And again, like you said, you take a glance. I'm not talking about you, but there are like avid supporters, I'm sure, who are probably there like, oh yes, I live for this kiki and a haha and all day, every day. You being their audience, they're gonna keep doing it because you're showing them it's entertaining. Because most of the people who do this stuff, they do it for attention. And if you feel like all you got to offer is exposing people, you doing worse than the people you talk about.
I mean, like if you're like going there every day, like looking at it or something. But if you like see it on Facebook and somebody sitting there defending themselves, you want to listen. Like, what is this person talking about? I'm not like saying that I like go out like on a hunt, like what's the gossip today? What's going on? Who is supposed to this? I'm not into that. But you really see it, I'll be like, oh, what's going on? And I'll take a look at it. And I wouldn't hold anybody accountable for that per se. But, if you are like constantly, feeding into it and like, oh, I heard this and you did this, that's a different story. That would definitely make me feel suspect of you.
And I can understand that because as humans, no matter how perfect you believe you are, we're naturally curious. So I'm not gonna be like, oh, you a POS for going and checking that link. And hell, I might, if I ever saw one, I might go check to make sure I'm not on there. Not to be like, oh, I'm a blast somebody, but I need to cut somebody out because I know I only told one person and y'all just helped me cut the grass. You know what I mean? So I mean, as humans, we're naturally curious, but I'm talking about those who are like avid supporters of it. Because there are people, I promise you, who more than likely log on there every day, if not a couple times a day, to go see who's being exposed and geeky and ha ha about it. You know what I mean? So those are the people I'm referring to. Again, as humans, we're naturally curious. You see a link, you're gonna be like, "Oh Lord, what's going on now?" You know what I mean? You might be checking for yourself. You might be checking for family. You might be checking for a friend, or you might just be curious as to how far they going this time. I'm not gonna knock humans for being humans, but I'm talking about the no kidding supporters, the people who sit there and watch for the mess all the time. That's who I'm talking about.
Right. Exactly. I get that. That's completely understandable.
All right, y'all. We ain't gonna hold y'all because I know y'all got stuff to do. Miss Beautiful, talented, kind hearted, and generous Eva, I want to thank you so much for shooting with me today. You gave a lot of valuable points. You have in-depth knowledge of about a life, a lot of life situations. So I definitely appreciate that. Is there anything else you want to say to the people before you go?
No, don't bash me. This is my first time.
All right. So, as I always say, thank y'all so much for donating your time, watching this video. Don't bash Eva in the comments because, as y'all know, I'm with the shits. I love y'all so much. Peace.
Bye.